Hello, and welcome back to episode 2 of my Rock Bottom Kenshi playthrough. In our last episode, we managed to get myself a robot arm, and we recruited Vhemmy and Jabrick, but we're all out of money after purchasing some equipment and hiring some people, so we're going to move out across the desert and head to the slave farms and see if we can't cause some trouble. And do a little montage of traveling through the desert. It would be nice if we could find some people to fight, because we still have these guards for a couple more hours. They helped us out last episode against a bunch of slavers that thought they could just walk up and enslave Austen and Vhemmy, just because they were defenseless. But it looks like there's nothing out in the desert today. I try to show you some of the more scenic rocks and some of the more pristine dunes of sand. There's not a lot out there today, but that's a blessing in Kenshi. We're going to stop at my favorite city. This is Henge and the Trader's Edge. It's kind of two cities put together. We're going to check out these taverns and see if there's anyone willing to work for free, or $1,000. I think that's all we've got. Even these people wearing no t-shirts won't work for $1,000. We've got 2 bars to check out, but there's just not a lot going on here. And our contract with the mercenaries is about to run out, so we might be on our own. The shop's a cursory look over. I say cursory because we have no money. So we will leave Henge, my favorite city. Look, see, it's like a double city. And there's lots of people coming and going. It's very busy. It's on the edge where the empire connects with the rest of the continent, really. And there's a bunch of slaves leaving. They got slaves coming and going. We'll be headed to the slave farms, where I'm certain we can find some opportunity there. And we'll have to do it alone, because our contract with the mercenaries has expired. But if we travel at night, it should be harder for people to see us. And it's not strictly on the way, but I stopped by here. This is the Eye, a giant downed attack satellite. Completely harmless now, but reportedly back in the day it was quite a troublemaker. And there are still killer attack satellites alive in the present day, but we won't go to where they live. I think they call that place Venge. It's not a good place to go. Getting almost harassed by blood raiders. That sounds ominous. But they noticed that we're just moving way too fast. It's almost as if running across the desert makes one really good at running, which is how Kenshi works. We've got farmers fighting vagrants. I don't really see any profit in getting involved in that. That blue area is the gut, and that's infested with beak things. But it also means we're getting very close to the farm. And that's a pack of dogs. Thank goodness they're slow. All right, here's the slave farms. We've got traders, slavers, slaves, and lots of guards. And that's what we like. We like lots of guards, because we're going to put them to work. Let's find a nice safe place in here. This is, I think, a public space. That's a slave that's disobeying, so I guess they're beating him. Poor guy. But let's get Vhemmy and Austen to high ground, and we're going to send Jabrick into the gut and see if he can't attract some beaked things for us. He is just a baby, after all. Monsters should find him irresistible. Just do a little bit of wiggling. These creatures get very offended when you click on them with the attack button. We're going to exploit that to try to draw them to these slave guards up here. And I'm not going to lie, this is very dangerous. Jabrick could die. But we need money, and Jabrick is at the bottom of the social ladder of our party, unfortunately. But you could be a hero, Jabrick. Now get out there and dance. Now, 3 beaked things might be more than the guards can handle. Let's see. Oh, wow. That looks very good. I like that. There's something very satisfying about watching slavers getting hammered by giant giraffe monsters. Now, while Vhemmy and Austen are safe on this platform up here with these crossbows, Jabrick sort of just has to run around. Wow, they're really doing a number on them, but they're sending in reinforcements, so I think these monsters are going to go down. And we can send Jabrick out again. And I think we can send Austen down off of that platform and have him start butchering these creatures. Their skin and meat are very useful. We have to cook the meat. Now, Scorchlanders and animals like Vhemmy and Jabrick can eat raw meat, but Austen is a Greenlander, so we will have to cook it at some point if he wants to eat something. And we have no way of converting these skins into leather or anything at this point. We have no technology, so we'll just be selling it. But look, so much skin, so much meat. Even the rotten meat, I'm taking it. We can feed that to Jabrick. Sorry, Jabrick. Normally these things are so hard to take down. But Jabrick doing all the legwork and the guards doing all the fighting are going to make us rich. Plus, as the number of guards in the farm begins to fall, some of the slaves will start getting ideas about making a run for it. So that'll cause a lot of chaos. But there are still guards to fight. Look at that, they're just getting hammered. It's a win-win situation. Bodies are starting to pile up at the front gates. These beaked things are really doing a number. We'll have Jabrick sneak past again and get more. I don't care if the guards aren't ready for them. And it looks like off in yonder distance, there's more beaked things. I think there's a nest down there. If we could steal beaked thing eggs, our faction would have all the money they would need for a long time. Look, just bodies, bodies, bodies. I'm only looting the beaked things, though. Looting the guards makes them upset. It seems like the beaked things that are guarding the nest are more reluctant to give chase than the patrolling beaked things. So Jabrick is having to dance more aggressively and closer than is perhaps safe for a baby gorilla lizard. And oh, he just got bonked in his head. Thankfully, he doesn't need his head to run like a maniac, but another bonk could seriously knock him out. That took half his head's health away. It's a limb-based combat system. You don't want any one limb to lose all its hit points. And the guards are showing this creature what's what. And they're also carrying around the dead beaked things by the neck, which I think is quite humorous. I don't know why they're doing that. Normally guards pick up dead bodies and dispose of them, but perhaps they have no place to put all these corpses. And we'll bandage Jabrick's head so we can send him out again. And we do have to be very careful with Jabrick, though. Unlike some monsters in the world, beak things will eat people alive. It's very unadvisable to lose consciousness around a beaked thing. Yeah, most of them just want to guard the nest. But Jabrick the Brave will continue to pull them away. Dance. They can't resist a baby monkey lizard. Jabrick's going to be huge someday. Now this guy, he seems to be distracted, so we can get some free hits from behind and get Jabrick some combat training. Someday he might even be bigger than this monster. Yes, go Jabrick, go. Free hits to the bum. Free hits to the bum, those are the best. Run, Jabrick. That was close. We'll let the guards handle that. We'll send Jabrick out again. Jabrick's a runner. As long as they don't bite his legs, he should be able to make it back just fine. Run, Jabrick. Oh no, they got him in the... Alright, that symbol on Jabrick's face right now is the being eaten alive debuff. Possibly the worst status condition a person can have in a video game. So we're going to have to send Austen down there to try and pull this thing off of Jabrick. And you guys saw it was eating him even though he hadn't given up yet. That is very unsportsmanlike. And now Austen is the one who has to dance. But we absolutely can't let them eat Jabrick. I would never hear the end of it from Vhemmy. Alright, the first one has engaged the guards. The second one is moseying up to take a bite out of Jabrick, which we cannot allow. Jabrick still has plenty of hit points even though he's down. Or rather, his other limbs have some hit points left. He's not gone yet. And once we pull this last beak thing away, we can send someone to rescue him, assuming Austen doesn't get hit. Alright, the good news is, it wasn't a leg, so Austen can still run. Run, Austen. Also, you might have noticed, Austen's robotic arm does not heal naturally over time. Or rather, Austen will have to find some way to repair it, which is expensive. I'll heal myself up with some medkits, while the guards do my dirty work. That beak thing just picked a fight with a bunch of bounty hunters. That was not very smart of it. They're going to take that thing down with the quickness. Yep, those are bounty hunters. And that just means more loot for our faction. Speaking of which, our faction needs a name. But I guess we can work on that later once we get a base. With all these skins, we'll definitely be able to have a base. We just need to get Jabrick, because he's holding all the stuff, and because we love him. We'll take him back to this platform. This platform is really working out, because I don't think that monster giraffes can use stairs. We'll just carry him back. I'm not going to apply a med kit to him until we know we're safe. Some of these guards are not getting up. They must be very tired after fighting those monsters all day. But we want more. Vhemmy's legs look fine, so maybe we'll send her out. Austen has a bit of a limp. So we'll send out Vhemmy now. See if she can't sneak into that nest of beaked things, which seems to have repopulated. Keep pulling in beak things well into the night, and get back on these turrets. I think it's very funny in this game. To train your precision shooting skill, you have to shoot people you didn't mean to shoot. It's very fun. The most fun skill to level up. But right now we're staying up there not to help, but just because it's safe and we get a good view of slavers getting pounded by giraffe monsters. Didn't want to happen to Jabrick, the eating of people alive unconsensually. Let's see if we can draw them away with some turret fire. Oh, there's still some brave guards. Oh, nope, these beasts have merely lost their mind with fear, and are now fleeing wildly, which is no concern of mine. Yep, they're definitely just got it into their head to run away, which is fine. That means less guarding the nest. If we can pull away these last few, Vhemmy can take all the eggs and make us rich. Rich, I say. I'll be able to get a brand new arm. Look at these things. That's a brave guy. He stands up for what he believes in. I mean, what he believes in is wrong, and he will probably die. But he is standing up for it. Oh, he's down. As the beak things become more of a nuisance, they're starting to get into the facility. And they're starting to off some of the slave masters. So I would not be surprised if a full-on slave revolt is going to start happening soon. Which is going to make the guards' lives even more miserable, because they're going to be attacked from both sides pretty soon. And I'm just going to keep running in and harvesting. Really, nobody wins in this situation, except us. We're just menaces to society. But we're going to be fed for a long time. This is a lot of meat, a lot of skin. And we didn't have to pay the guards a cent to have them do all this work for us. I think this is the last one. Run, Vhemmy. As long as it doesn't hit her legs. But as you can see, even though the monster is much faster than most people, I think they run at like 40 miles an hour, they have that long wind-up with their giraffe neck, which gives you plenty of time to escape. Alright, there was another one. I swear they're hatching out of those eggs. This place is positively... Okay, Vhemmy's arm is ruined, but she can still run. You see as her arm flops around uselessly. We can bandage that later. The guards are fully engaged behind the walls. They are fighting inside the farm now. And they're fighting slaves. You see, there's a slave there fighting them. And I say, good for them. They should take this opportunity. Where there is violence, there is opportunity in Kenshi. I just am really good at inciting it, I guess. Now, something I don't want to do is if this farm totally gets destroyed and collapsed, the price of food in the United Cities and the Empire at large could go up, causing a lot of people to starve. It's sort of a reactive world that Kenshi has. But here we made it to the eggs. This is a nest filled with corpses, but more importantly filled with valuable beak thing eggs that everyone in the world of Kenshi wants to buy for absurd amounts of money. And just as soon as Vhemmy grabs all of these, we will be able to go live anywhere we want, rather in any city. So we do not have nearly enough people to protect a settlement. Some people actually settle in the gut. Those giant blue trees, made of iron. But we got a ton of eggs. We're going to load Jabrick up and we're going to get out of here. This is not our problem anymore. Just piles of corpses as far as the eye can see and unworked fields. See, Jabrick can hold all of this. More skins, more skins, more meat. All for Jabrick. This was our total pull here. Our haul. We made out like bandits. Better than bandits, because bandits have to actually fight people. Alright, so I think if we take all of this to Henge, we could buy any house we wanted and start setting up shop. I mean that metaphorically, of course, but you can actually set up shops in this game. But we will set up a safe house. Wow, the slaves are in full rebellion here, so I think it's as good a time as any to just leave. Well, that's a lot of slaves. They're mad. And there's no guards to stop them. I say good for them. That guy died in midair. Well, as you know, it's a big rule, is when you die, you're not allowed to move anymore. So now we can move through the desert. We have to carry Jabrick because his legs are still busted up pretty darn bad from his heroic dancing. But we can see things coming from pretty far off. These are just harmless nomads, I think. Harmless nomads. No, those are free traders. Alright, we're coming in. The desert is just so huge. That took almost half a day. Now we can start unloading all this stuff. This tailor will buy all our skins. General store. Buy eggs. Eggs are about as general as it gets. Here's a supply store for building materials. We can trade some of these eggs for building materials and research materials. But once we have all the stuff to start furnishing our base, we need to buy a house. Oh, I was promised a spectacular robot arm. So you can use the enormous amounts of money we just got and see what the best arm he's got in the house. Your best arm, please, sir. I want masterwork. Masterwork skeleton. Yes. Yes, thank you, sir. Alright, so we'll grab this one. And of course I'm going to model it. My brand new robot arm. It was heck of expensive. I can't believe we traded eggs for a robot arm. They were monster eggs. And we'll sell the old arm. Hopefully I won't regret that. It's always good to have a backup arm, I suppose. And sell him the rest of our eggs to get our cats back. Money in this game is called cats for some reason. And there's my new robot arm. It's beautiful. If anyone else in our party loses body parts, we can just come back to this guy and he will give us the hookup. Since we intend on living in this city for a while, we'll go in the bar. We can afford to recruit people now. David left a message in the comments, and I will choose to interpret his message as a willingness to join our party. So let's find someone to be David. Let's see. We've got several shirtless creatures and people. I don't know if David wants to be a bug. How about a Scorchlander? They make excellent ninjas. Alright, let's take him on. Welcome to the party, David. Let's just change your haircut right quick. And your name. You are David now. Alright. We now have 3 humans and a gorilla lizard. Austen, Vhemmy, David, Jabrick. Let's use some of our ill-gotten money to purchase a house in town. And I say this one. For almost 20,000 cats, we can kick these people out and enjoy our new home. In Kenshi, the first step to doing any sort of domestic building is to do research. So we're going to build a research bench. We've loaded Jabrick up with all kinds of building materials, so hopefully we should have this base fully lit, furnished, and productive in no time. Alright, to build this research bench, and we can fill it up with research books and start learning how to make things like chairs and beds and robotics bays. And we'll make some lights too. And we'll get all the people to work building this. We've loaded Jabrick up with all the supplies we need to build things. But even if we hadn't, we live in Henge now, which is the trade capital of the entire world of Kenshi. As long as we have cats, we can get anything we need. Right now we need building supplies. Later we will have to go adventuring to get better research materials like ancient science books and engineering schematics. But light is important too, because attempting to perform skills in the dark is difficult in Kenshi. Now the goal of this base is to give the party a place to rest and to resupply, but I would also like it to make us some money. So we're going to have to industrialize, put some production benches and get some people to work making products we can sell. And if we can't get enough subscribers to join as party members, we might have to hire workers or purchase slaves to work those stations. But money is money. This is the United Cities. That's just how things are around here. But once we have a reliable source of food and income, then we can begin setting our sights higher. Speaking of food, I'm going to have Vhemmy build a campfire and start cooking all that raw meat, because while the Scorchlanders and the gorilla can eat raw meat, a Greenlander like Austen cannot. Plus the cooked meat is better for everyone. It has more nutritional value. Jabrick, on the other hand, can keep all this rotten meat to himself. He's not even allowed in the house, really. That's part of the animal AI. They do not like to be in the house. But we'll have Vhemmy cook that up, and we'll have everyone start building furniture and more advanced research materials. Speak of the devil. This research station is much larger and needs to be sort of wiggled into the back of our base. But it will allow us to research much more advanced technologies like beds. And it's more efficient with the books we give to it, I think. I don't know what unit efficiency means or whatever that stat says. But bigger numbers are better. That is a classic RPG mechanic. And we'll keep grabbing stuff and building it. Austen does the research, Vhemmy and David do the engineering. And keep picking research, but we will eventually need AI cores and other kinds of exotic materials. And some lights, some electric lights. We can't produce any electricity, but we sure can take some from the city. Get this place well lit. We started at the bottom, and now we're here. A well lit base. When we get more research, we will be able to start producing money. Money from nothing. That's the best. Pure profit. No danger. Although another thing we'll have to do is start training our people up for combat, because it will be inevitable that we will have to travel to dangerous places. We've been playing it safe and fighting dirty this whole time, but once we have more people, we'll start the serious training. Some of which can be done in the city, using training dummies and other things. Let's put Jabrick to sleep in these beds. He'll use less food that way, and he'll recover faster from his horrible injuries. I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode 2 of the Rock Bottom Kenshi playthrough. Please like and subscribe. Comment for more characters we can add to the party, or advice you might have for things that we should do, or activities we might pursue. I want you guys to feel like you're a part of this adventure too. Thanks again for your time. Have a good one.